Hello everybody and welcome back to Expedition Homestead. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. So today's video is going to be all about an update and checkup on our jade plant. This checkup is going to be a follow-up to a video that we made on a major surgery or a pruning, a cutback that we had on this jade plant here. I've had several requests recently to do an update to show you guys how it's been doing after the cutback. But for those of you who are not aware of what it looked like before I cut it back, here's a little clip of the original video. As you can see, I can't even let it go without the whole thing toppling over. And all the growth is on one side of the plant. So this jade definitely went through a major surgery. And in fact, I think I cut about 40% of the plant mass off of it. But 2 years later, it goes to show that plants do very, very well when pruned like this, especially houseplants like the jade. This thing has been doing incredibly ever since. It is growing really strong and healthy and is putting off some amazing growth, some great colors to go along with that. And honestly, I couldn't be any more happy with the results that we're getting off of this plant than we've had so far. During the first year after the surgery, we had a couple of small mishaps with the plant where my son just got into it and broke a couple of branches off. And then we did have, I think it was right here, we had one of the branches just die off and it began to rot. But besides that, everything else has grown fantastic with the plant. I really encourage you guys to prune back your jades if you see that they're getting leggy or weak, because you will see results like this in your jade plant if you do a little bit of a pruning. The jade plant is not going to react adversely to a pruning either, as shown by these results right here. And I've talked to many other houseplant enthusiasts who have the exact same point of view. They have had great results when pruning back their jade. And in fact, almost all of them say that it's absolutely necessary in order to have a healthy jade plant. Because if you just let it grow, and if it's not in optimal conditions to grow, it is going to get leggy, it is going to get weak, and it's just not going to have the strength that you want, and therefore it's not going to show the vibrancy that you really expect out of it. A lot of people see jade plants and they're just a solid green color, light green, dark green, whatever color it might be. But this jade plant in particular, and any other healthy jade plant that you will see or you are growing, will have red around the outside of the leaves. To illustrate that, let me just grab the camera and show you guys exactly what that looks like. So as you guys can see right here, see the outline of the leaves, how we've got that red. It doesn't show up as good on the camera as in real life, of course, but it really does look wonderful. I'm so happy with how this thing has been growing. As you can see on all of the branches, the clusters are really tight together. It's really strong growth. We have good color, and overall this jade is just thriving far beyond what it was before we took the surgery. And I'm sure you guys can see that in this video here, just based off of what I'm showing you guys. Seeing it firsthand, I am so happy that we did the cutting that we did, that we pruned back so strongly, because this plant from day one, it has been growing so much healthier ever since that surgery. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do is grow our jade plant as strong as possible and make sure that it is as vibrant as possible. And that's what pruning your jades is going to do. I really understand that some people might be afraid of taking cuttings and prunings from a jade plant because of disease and bugs, or maybe just outright killing the plant. But I can really promise you guys that as long as you follow the normal care routine for your jade plant, that taking cuttings from it and propagating it or pruning it like we did here is not going to have any negative long-term effects on the plant, and instead it's just going to be all positive. I love jade plants so much because of how big they get, and this technically isn't even really a big jade plant. I've seen some jades that are nearly 4 feet wide and 5 feet tall that threw off incredible flowers while they were blooming. It was a sight to see. This was at Mill Creek Gardens. I'll never forget. It was such a beautiful plant. Jades will grow for many, many, many years. So if you take care of them, they will essentially become one of your family because you're gonna have this thing for a long time, just like a Christmas cactus and other cactuses for that matter. You're gonna keep those in your family for a long time. So that's why I think they're really worth the effort and care that goes into them. While jades generally don't require a lot of care, sometimes things are needed like fertilization or pruning, trimming off some of the dead leaves that you might see along the plant with the little snippers like these is also really important in order to reduce the risk that you're gonna have of disease spreading across your plant. I've also made a couple of different videos on how to take care of and remove mealybugs from your plants. And that's basically just taking a rubbing alcohol solution and water and spraying it on your jade plant or your aloe or any of your other indoor house plants, and then following up with a quick shower to wash all that off a few minutes later. If you need the video, you can probably just search how to kill mealybugs and look for my video under Expedition Homestead. You will find it. A lot of great information in there. Care on a jade plant really doesn't get too in depth. They're not really a needy plant when it comes to different care routines. I do love to get this thing outside as much as possible. So during the summer months, as soon as we have nighttime temperatures above 55 or 60 degrees, I will start to put it out there so it gets all the great direct sunlight that it truly deserves. And that is partially why this plant has thrived so much over this last year, is because it got to spend a lot of time outside. Just make sure that if you have it outside, it is not getting waterlogged and you have adequate drainage in your container for that, because I see a lot of people put it outside and then they'll get 4 or 5 inches of rain over a few days span, and that's going to waterlog your plants, and that can be particularly damaging to a jade plant like this one. Upcoming videos on this jade plant will be another propagation video. We have some great candidates for aerial roots right here that we're going to propagate out and show you guys how to grow those cuttings. And that's probably just about it for this jade plant for the upcoming future, at least a few months, except for that one video. It has been doing so great, and I thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video to check out how it has been doing. Very happy with the results. So I want to wish you guys all a happy gardening adventure, and we'll see you in the next episode.